what that teaches you, Mark, is discipline. To have routines, to create habits.
I don't know. I guess you just don't ask this stuff, and I don't know why.
We don't.
It's this stuff is so important.
My concept has always been about helping people, and I don't care who you are as a personal producer, you cannot outright a whole team.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country.
All right, everybody. Thank you for jumping on with us. This is Tri-State Your Story podcast. So excited about these. My favorite podcasts. And I've been on record many times saying that in this podcast, you can learn more about somebody his whole life than you can learn with them eating dinner with them for 4 hours. The platform just creates this idea for them to go deep on who they really are and what made them who they are. I'm sitting here with my man, Bernard Borges, who's become one of my favorite people because of his focus level, his intensity, his passion, his care for people, and just the fact that he doesn't think that this is a game. So all those things resonate really well with me, Bernard, as you can imagine. But it's an honor to have you here in New Jersey.
Thank you.
Recording live the Your Story podcast. I appreciate you jumping on. How you doing?
I'm outstanding, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be back in my home state, and excited to be in front of you and learning. I'm sponge today.
My man.
Looking forward to it.
Well, we're going to learn from you.
Okay.
I'd love to know about your story. If you could walk us down the path, what are some of the things that made you the man you are today? I'll let you kind of run with it.
Wow. You don't talk about yourself at least I don't talk about myself very much. So this is a unique dynamic. But I can go as far back as, early childhood, adolescence. And the number one person that pops in my mind, believe it or not, is my grandfather. He was in fact, my mom says, I'm the son he never had. He had 3 girls. So he never had any sons. And so when my mother because my mother's older sister had daughters too.
Got it.
So I was
you were the first boy.
For him.
I like
so that. He really took me on as a son, and he taught me baseball, and I watched. I'm unfortunately or fortunately a Met fan because of that.
So you're Jersey born and bred?
Born and bred. Yeah,
Love
Trenton, New Jersey.
Man.
And so in Trenton, or Lawrenceville, which is a little suburb outside of that, between there and Princeton, is where he lived. And I go over there all the time, and we watch the Mets game. Now, those were the glory years. Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, Gary Carter. We won the World Series in '86. So that was my upbringing with him. And so a lot of lessons were taught in those baseball games. He talked about respect for women. He talked about how to be a man. He talked about not how to be a male, but a man, meaning take care of your family. And, he was very family oriented. He made everybody come over for holidays. So we were very tight knit. And when he passed, unfortunately, in '93, I saw the difference in the family.
Wow.
And it really broke down. And I said, even then, when I get into a position, I want to make sure I rekindle and put back together what was broken when he passed.
That's good.
So a lot of principles, opening up doors, pulling out chairs. I mean, he's a circa 1930s, 40s guy. They had the top hats, very respectful, trench coats. He's part of that, that era. And so that's what's in me. That's what burns in me. Apparently, I look like him. My personality's like him. I remember going to his closet. He had a closet full of suits. I do too now. So we kind of are kindred spirits in that way. So that's a lot of who I am. But then, I have my father and my mother, who both are in my life and still are, thankfully. Nice. Mother taught me everything from being domesticated. Said, never want you to have to depend on a woman. Want you to have one, but not to have to depend on how to sew, how to fold, how to iron, how to wash, how to dust, how to, sweep, everything, fold up a bed or make up a bed, so I do all that stuff. I fold, I can do, I'm totally domesticated.
I'm with you, bro. I am too. Yes, sir. I've learned. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I that's part of what makes me up. And what that teaches you, Mark, is discipline, to have routines, to create habits. And so these habits and these routines I can look at now, I'm actually thinking of as I speak, are things that are now carrying over into the professional world. you know, and those things are not easily found, because one of my, I'll say, challenges is that I think that everybody sees through the same lens as I do. And man, have I been burned on that. You have too, I guess.
Yes, I have.
Look how you just sat back. That resonated.
Yes, it did, brother.
That resonated.
Yes, it did.
I mean, that's a challenge. I have to realize that, bro, you had a grandfather, you had a mother, you had a father who I haven't even brought into, father who took me out and did the sport thing and you know, supported my teams. And you know, even though he lived in Washington, D.C., he'd come to Jersey, bro, to watch practices. That's kind of dad he was. Yeah. Really excited. Again, I was his first boy. He had 3 girls before me. So, you know, he really, and then he had a straight run of boys, 5 straight boys. But
wow, you got 9 brothers and sisters, 9 of y'all?
7. It's 8 of us all together.
Okay, got it.
So it's 3 girls and then 5 straight boys.
Got it.
And so all of them younger brothers. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
So that's another thing. You know, I should have said that. 3 older sisters, me, and then 4 younger brothers.
Got it.
And so
wow, what a lot
of, you know, kind of the role model.
Yeah, okay.
You know, my sisters, by the way, one's a psychologist, one is a very successful entrepreneur, and then my sister right before me is a doctor.
Okay.
And then
playing around.
No, they're not. And then boom, and then us. So I was kind of like the role model for the brothers, and I'm 6 years older than my second brother that's closest to me. Sure. And then the other ones, I'm like 10 years older, so I'm like their, you know, almost father figure. So a lot of responsibility in that way as well. So I think what shaped me is, you know, and then my mother owning a business also. So I had a sister who had a business, but my mother owned a business. I grew up in that business, and it was a marketing company. And I watched her do advertising. I watched her do product placement. I watched her do, you know, branding, like all these different elements of marketing all wrapped in one, because she was a full service marketing firm that would take, you know, not Family First Life, but Tri-State, and make a statewide campaign of Tri-State. Got it. And she would do billboards. At that time, it was billboards and posters in stores and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and newspaper articles at that time. There was no internet, you know, in the 80s, in the 90s. So, you know, she would just you know, flood the state or flood the areas or the marketplace that, or the target market that you wanted, with the different product placements and what have you. So I learned all this stuff. And she took the time, just like she taught me how to be domesticated, she took the time to teach me these concepts. And part of what makes me, I think, different or a little unique is that I do things from a business concept, not from an insurance concept. I'm not an insurance agent. I'm a business owner operating in this space called insurance.
Makes sense.
Okay, so that's where I'm at, and so all these things, and then, you know, that family structure that I've came through and was fortunate enough to have also helped me in my own family. When I began to have kids, I have 4 children altogether. I adopted a stepdaughter when she was 2. She's 27 now. God bless. And then I have my 24-year-old. She's a female. Then I have my 24-year-old boy, 23-year-old girl, and 2019. You know, he'll be 20 this month. Wow. Boy. So I got 2 boys, 2 girls. Wow. So and grew up in a tight-knit family as well. Again, from my grandfather, having that influence. I was married 13 years. I did get divorced, but we co-parent better than most people as a married couple are. We co-parent very well. All our kids went to private schools, several hours away in New England states, and you know, they got to meet people from all around the world, and they have very large circles that, you know, span the globe, and so they got to ski, ice hockey. My daughter ice hockey. Nice. My son ski, Black Hills level skier, like top of the line. Wow. Other son, you know, he does rock climbing and things that weren't going to happen in Trenton, New Jersey. And so I got him out of that element. I pushed him out. Nice. People said, why'd you push your kids and send them to overnight schools? I said, because they got to have the opportunity, not just education, it's experience. It's learning new cultures. Yeah. Because I want them to love people all around, not just the ones that are looking, think, and talk like them. Right. That's not growth. Right. Growth is getting out of that element. I pushed him out of the comfort zone at 14, Mark.
I feel you, bro. That's
strong. Guess what? My oldest son, my stepdaughter, she's a nurse, RN, not a CPM. No offense to them, but she went the whole 9 and became an RN, and now I have 2 grandchildren from that. Her marriage, her union. And then I have my youngest son who just graduated college last year, got 3 raises at a Mika insurance company. I told him, go out and explore. My company's building. you could come whenever you're ready, but
Right.
go out and learn something.
Yeah.
Learn something from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Fortune 500 company. Bring something back. Bring
Right.
something to the table.
That's
That's
good.
the concept. I know some people
That's strong,
feel
though.
fun about that. I
No,
don't.
that's amazing.
I'm comfortable with that.
That's amazing.
And then my daughter, who's also licensed, is in graduate school at Columbia.
Wow.
From the schools that they went to. And then finally, my youngest son is Drew University, right around the corner from here.
Yeah.
And he's going into his third year, junior year.
Wow.
He's also licensed. He's with me down in the summer. He's actually in Miami right now, waiting for me to get back to go to work. He's got to get his fingerprints, and he's got his license. He passed. So all my kids are licensed.
It was crazy. So again, we could do dinner for 12 hours, and I wouldn't know this.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
This is
wouldn't.
great.
You wouldn't.
Because I don't know. I guess you just don't ask this stuff, and I don't know why.
We don't.
It's this stuff is so important.
I told you.
know?
I have to know who I'm working with from a personal standpoint, because then I can understand what motivates them from a professional standpoint.
No
I
doubt.
know how to hit their hot buttons. Like this is okay. I also background part. I also studied in school marketing. I got a degree in marketing, but under that I studied human behavior sciences and psychology for 20 years.
Wow.
So I understand people half the time better than they understand themselves. I understand what drives them better than they understand themselves. So these are the principles, and these are the background that I'm bringing to this insurance thing that people just never heard of, never seen, and that's the disruption. That's where the disruption is coming from. Problem is I didn't have the platform.
Got it.
Now it's a different story. I've been here since February, so
So
get started.
that's perfect. Yeah, perfect transition.
Okay.
Let's insert Family First Life.
Yes, sir.
You find us, you realize it is the perfect platform. What makes Family First Life the perfect platform? Why FFL?
Why FFL? Oh man, there's so many ways to go with this. The first thing is accessibility. I have now the whole country. The whole country's here. It's not I was sectioned off or limited to different states. No more. My only limitation is me.
Got it.
In this program.
That's great.
The second thing is you could have all the territory you want. You don't have the products. Who cares? We got the products for every single freaking person out here. In other words, if you're 14 days old or if you're 89 years of age,
No doubt.
we got something for you.
Yes, sir.
And that's a beautiful thing. And that's a empowering type of thing that makes your chest stick out, makes you feel good about what you're doing because you know you can help that person. So that's huge. The third thing, and actually I think the most important thing, is the structure. And the structure, let's break that down. The structure meaning the leadership. Leaders need leaders. Leaders need leaders.
Yes, sir.
If you think you got it all figured out, then sir or ma'am, you're sadly mistaken, and you're going to lose.
Right.
So that's number one. We have leaders that are willing to lead. Secondly, we have structure in terms of a blueprint. I don't want to get into a boat and just start sailing. I got to have a destination, or I'm going to hit a rock, and I'm going to sink at some point. Some people take longer to hit that rock, but they will, and they'll sink. I've seen it. I've been in this business 20 years.
Yeah.
And I was one of them that hit a rock, and I sunk and got out of the business. And guess what I did? God had it that I became a recruiter for 3 years.
Huh.
So when you said yesterday about being a headhunter, I am. That's where I got it from.
Right.
I had to, kind of reload. And so I needed a real job for a little while when I hit that rock as an insurance agent. And so I became a recruiter. Now, I didn't recruit insurance people. I recruited engineers. So it was like electrical, mechanical engineers. That's what I recruited all around the country. But what it taught me was, again, using my human behavior and psychology background, how to get to people's psyche on where they are in terms of happiness, where they are. And it's a lot of times, Mark, and you probably know this now, I'm sure, money was not the biggest motivation. It was opportunity. It was advancement. Those things that people wanted to be able to reach to that they weren't getting at their current position. Half the time, and I mean half the time, they actually took a lateral move financially because they were more excited about what the position offered in terms of opportunity to grow. And so those are the people that I found. Now, they're not easy to find. Mark, a lot of people don't want to grow. A lot of people are just happy being able to pay their bills. We've been conditioned as a country to just pay our bills and let's romanticize about the LeBron James and the Michael Jordans with all the money. No, you can be that person. And I always tell people, FFL is the big leagues. It's the professional ranks of this industry. And you don't get hired in FFL, you get drafted. And with that draft status comes responsibilities. Yes, you sign a big contract, but it comes with responsibility. And if you want to cash that contract in, you got to be able to do some things that a lot of people aren't willing to do. And again, going back to seeing people through what I thought were my lenses, which was normal, is not. My lens is the one that's, abnormal, is the ulterior, way, or the alternative way. So now I'm learning, or to answer your question directly, FFL gives us a platform to be able to create real opportunities for business owners and for people who want to build a business. And I guess I'm just bigger on the business end of it than I am on the personal side as far as sales. Hey, you come here, you do well making personal sales. There's some people that do very well personal sales. But my concept has always been about helping people. And I don't care who you are as a personal producer, you cannot outright a whole team. You can't. You can't. So I want a team that's moving in the same direction mentally and spiritually, and are moving in the same direction to help other people. And it'll be a snowball effect, because now each person trying to help other people are going to help other people, and that becomes a culture. And that's the culture here. It's aggressive. It's about growth here, starting with the CEO, Sean. And I just see fire in the eyes of you and of some of the other leaders in your position, as well as the CEO. I see myself in you. I see myself in all these guys. And it's not about a color thing. It's about a mindset thing, and it's about a wanting to serve the people thing. And that's what I see here that I've never seen. I've been in 9 other IMOs. I've been searching, bro.
Really?
I've been searching.
Wow.
And I'm not afraid or ashamed to say it, because I could not settle. I'm not a settler.
Wow. That is an impressive stat. So you know this industry very well, inside and out, brother.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
There's nothing you
I
can't
didn't
tell
know
me.
that either.
There's nothing you can't tell me about it. I just don't talk about it a lot.
IMOs. So that puts a real stamp on Family First Life coming out of your mouth, sir.
Oh, my gosh, yes. I'm grateful to have found this. I literally been looking for this for 20 years, since 2000.
Wow.
Yes, 21 years.
How does it feel to be as ready as you are? You say you've been looking at this for 20 years. You found this 18 years ago. You might not have been able to identify it.
I just said that.
The way you are now.
Yes.
How does it feel to have been looking for this, not knowing you were looking for it, found it, be ready for it, and now the meat is really juicy?
Oh, my gosh. You guys now, and I say we, I can say we now, we now are ready for me. In 2014, we weren't. 2016, we weren't. But I would say probably 2018 on, especially when that whole integrity thing came into play, that's when Bernard was going to be attracted to this. Otherwise, it just sounds like everybody else. But an end game came about. And I talk about in my recruiting end game. People ask me, well, what's your, renewals like? What's your, I'm like, no. You don't understand. You're still in an antiquated, system. You're coming from an antiquated thought mindset. This is a business. I'm not in the insurance business. I'm in business. We just happen to be using insurance. So I'm building a business to get bought out, to get purchased. That's what I'm doing. I'm like Tesla. I'm like, all these guys that come up with these new concepts and are looking for that hedge fund. Our hedge fund is our partner. Our hedge fund is waiting for us. You've been there. You saw the light. I see the light that you saw. You sprinted to it. I'm sprinting to it. And I want some sprinters with me. If you're walking, you're holding us up. If you're crawling, you're definitely holding us up. I got to cut bait, Mark. This is the big leagues. We cut people here. This isn't, high school where everybody gets a participation trophy. I'm sorry, man. I'm going off now. But I'm serious. This is about winning. Winning is not easy. But it's about habits. Am I speaking to you here? Am I speaking to your soul? I think so.
You pressed the button inside my chest.
That's what it's about. So that's what FFL is to me. It is the major leagues. It's the NFL. It's the NHL. It's the NBA. Whichever sport you want to call it. And it's where the best of the best are drafted into with an opportunity. Doesn't mean they're going to be Hall of Famers. Doesn't mean you're going to make the All-Star team. Doesn't even mean they're going to make the rotation, but they have an opportunity.
Wow.
And a higher the draft pick, the more expectations. The higher the contract, the more expectations. So it's perfectly aligned. And to be able to use this analogy, and I'm a number 1 draft pick. I got a lot of responsibility.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to mature in this space. I'm going to learn this thing inside and out. I'm going to go to the weight room. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to go on the practice field every day. I'm going to play the game as hard as I can. I'm going to try to win every day that I play a game, but I'm going to keep improving. That's why I'm here with you in front of you now. I'm not here because, I just wanted to take a random trip to Jersey. I'm here to learn from one of the best and to understand what makes one of the best tick. And why one of the best and what one of the best is doing on a daily basis behind the scenes.
We need some fire emojis.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm here. And so I have a responsibility to my coach, Mark, who drafted me and said, hey, man, this is your stage.
All right.
Let me get out your way. That's what Mark said. Get out my way. And so now I'm looking to draft, and I have drafted, and I'm going to be hard on my draftees. Because I want them to win. This isn't about feel good. This isn't about, everybody being, participation trophy, like I said earlier. This is about just dissecting who the winners are and pulling them out. And there's going to be some folks that don't win. There's going to be some folks that get cut like every year. Every year, Mark, you go to training camps at football, there's 120 people there. You know how much the roster is? 53 men. So 67 of them are gone.
90 guys come in.
90 come in. I'm sorry, I said 120, but that's college.
90
yes, guys, 90 in the NFL come in, and it goes down to 53.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to do it every cycle.
Yeah, and the bottom of the roster gets churned.
It gets churned. That's just facts. That's not personal. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset. People take this personal. We're running a business here, aren't we? But that's the problem. We're not business people. So that's where we have trouble. But I'm not worried about that because I'm going to find some business people. I'm going to find that 53-man roster. And then I'm going to go make another team. And I'm going to make another team and another team.
Yes,
in every state, we're going to have a 53-man roster.
No doubt.
And they're going to all be winning. They can't not. What's the lowest guy in the NFL? I think they make like $1 million, $2 million a year. That's the low man. FFL is that. We can't have anything lower than that. I don't mean literally, but I'm saying they got to be winning big. They got to be winning big. They got to be protecting families. And let's talk about why we're here. To protect families, to put families in better financial position than they were when we found them. And that includes the ones that already had something because we got something better for that person, for that individual. This is not a one-size-fits-all where I come from.
No doubt.
And I was the biggest perpetrator of the one-size-fit-all. I was drinking that Kool-Aid. And I became a born-again, agent and learned that, no, one size does not fit all. This 13-year-old doesn't need the same as this 83-year-old. But I said they did in the past, and I know better now. And I'm coming to save other agents from themselves as I was saved from myself. That's what this FFL opportunity means. I know it's a long answer, but.
Yeah, it's a great answer. And it's, I'm signing off. It's too good.
Yes,
it's too good. I appreciate you, man. This might be the best your story we've done. I think Peter Peter's went to church over there.
Okay.
And but just the power that you punch with, and I can feel that it's not a game. So I think that the ride is about to get real good or real bumpy. One or the other.
One or the other.
Very soon here. Have you thought of an agency name yet?
I already have it.
Okay. You don't have to say it.
Okay.
But
it should be coming. It should be official this month.
It's not approved yet.
Oh, it's already approved.
Oh, it is approved.
It's already approved.
What's the name?
Oh, it is. Okay. FFL Avengers.
FFL Avengers. Okay.
Yes.
I love it, man.
I'm an Avenger.
Tell me just real quick, why Avengers? And I think I know why, because that's powerful, but I want to hear it.
Okay. From the time I was literally in something called Underoos when I was 2 years old, 3 years old, and I was in, you remember those?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
We're about the same age. Underoos. I only, my mom had all of them. I would only use the Hulk. That was all I wanted was the Hulk. I was a big Hulk fan. I watched the series when it was like an actual series on CBS or whatever it was. So I was big on the Hulk. My operations manager, Bobby, knows this. And so when we were coming up with a name, she said, she wanted to incorporate that, but she didn't just want to use the Hulk because it's not about me anymore. It's bigger than me.
Got it.
So the Avengers, which the Hulk is part of, but it's bigger than him. It's a team that is here to conquer the world or help fight against or defend the world against whatever enemy. So that's where the concept of Avengers came from. Plus, what are we doing? We're protecting family.
That's strong, bro.
So we're protectors.
Oof.
That's what we're doing. And we're saving agents and building on our team. Avengers keeps growing.
Yeah.
Every time I turn around, Marvel got a new Avenger out. Why? Because there's so many people with talent and other platforms that aren't being utilized, like me.
Yeah.
Boom. That's a drop the mic.
Bro, it's beyond a drop. I'm about to break the mic. This was
FFL
a very
Avengers. So that's what we're going after.
Congratulations to you and FFL Avengers. This is a very, very powerful Your Story podcast, one you don't want to miss. And you done burned down the booth, brother. I appreciate you. Well, you're a grown man, bro. This thing is about to pop, and you're going to help a lot of people. You're going to serve a lot of people. You're going to help a lot of agents, save a lot of agents, help a lot of families. God bless you, man.
I need your help. Let's
make this thing happen, baby.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Tri-State Your Story podcast signing off.
God bless.
Peace.